Tonight on DC News Now, support for Kilmar, the rally in Silver Spring, as a Maryland senator flies to El Salvador in a desperate effort to bring a Prince George's County man home.
Hi everyone, a clear night, but frost and freeze concerns. We'll talk more about that. It's coming up.
Preparing for $1 billion budget hole. The likely changes coming for public safety agencies.
Windows smashed and valuables taken. The rash of car break-ins in Charles County over the past few weeks.
If you're shopping ahead of Easter weekend, we're helping you stretch your dollar with a check on those grocery prices.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for DC News Now at 9. I'm Susan Tran.
And I'm Chris Flanagan. Frustration and roadblocks as advocates and now members of Congress try to bring a Maryland man home from Central America. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen flew to El Salvador trying to at least see and talk to Kilmar Abrego Garcia and ultimately get him freed from that notorious prison. Now, last month, Garcia was wrongly deported by the Trump administration. A court has ordered his return. But so far, the White House and El Salvador's president have not made any effort to do so. Van Hollen says he spoke to El Salvador's vice president, asking him why Garcia is still being held.
His answer was that the Trump administration is paying El Salvador, the government of El Salvador, to keep him at CCOT.
Senator Van Hollen asking Salvadoran officials to meet with Abrego Garcia, but was told they would need more time to arrange that.
Meanwhile, dozens of Marylanders rallying in support of Senator Van Hollen. DC News Now's Max Marcilla joining us live tonight outside the U.S. Capitol.
And Max, the senator met with the country's vice president. Did he gain anything from this trip?
Well, one of the things he gained was, unfortunately for him, some of the same answers that the American people got last week when El Salvador President Nayib Bukele came to the White House. Those answers this time given from the vice president to Senator Van Hollen were some of what you just heard there. But even still, some advocates in the senator's home state of Maryland say that his efforts and his travel is appreciated. Thousands of miles away from El Salvador, Marylanders applauding their Senator Chris Van Hollen. He's visiting El Salvador, pushing for answers on why Kilmar Abrego Garcia is still in this notorious prison after the Trump administration admits he was mistakenly deported.
I'm not asking him to smuggle Mr. Abrego Garcia into the United States. I'm simply asking him to open the door of CCOT and let this innocent man walk out.
I really applaud and want to highlight the strong leadership exemplified by our Senator Van Hollen.
At this Silver Spring rally, both verbal and actual signs of support for Maryland's senior senator, that despite frustrations that his efforts to see or at least speak with Abrego Garcia were denied.
It is important for the senator to have access to Mr. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, to put his eyes on him, to make sure that he's okay.
For their part, the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security says in part, Van Hollen has done more to bring an MS-13 gang member back to Maryland than he has to help keep his American constituents safe. Nayib Bukele, president of El Salvador, said in the White House he won't release Abrego Garcia. Meanwhile, Abrego Garcia's deportation is playing out in court, with the Supreme Court ruling the government has to facilitate his return and a federal judge questioning the Trump administration about why it has not done so. And as for Senator Van Hollen's trip down to El Salvador, he did say that he believes other members of Congress will go down to El Salvador to continue advocating on this issue. Tonight, DC News Now has reached out to every member of Maryland's congressional delegation to see if they would travel to El Salvador. We have so far not yet heard back. Reporting live at the Capitol, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
All right, Max, thank you. Now, the U.S. Attorney General, though, posting on social media a court document on Abrego Garcia saying the DOJ is releasing new information, but the details are the same ones already part of that initial lawsuit against the government for deporting the Maryland father.
Well, U.S. District Judge James Boasberg of D.C. says he's found probable cause to hold the Trump administration in criminal contempt of court for violating a deportation order. That order was to turn around 2 airplanes carrying migrants to El Salvador last month. The White House invoked the Alien Enemies Act to speed up mass deportations, claiming there is an invasion of gang members from Venezuela. All right, let's get a first check on the forecast. It's actually a chilly night out there.
Yes, it is feeling more winter-like, even though we are mid-April. Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb, though, has some good news because it will warm up.
Yeah, we're excited for the warm-up, but I want to show you this live shot. What's noticeable?
It's clear.
The camera's not shaking.
Oh!
Yeah. It's been a long 24 hours. Really, most of the day, it's been very windy across the region. And so finally happy to see that the winds are dying down. We're sitting under a lot of clearing. That is also on that camera, but that clearing is lead to frost and freeze concerns. Farther to the west of D.C., D.C. metro area not involved, but sections of Arlington, Fairfax County, you will see temperatures below that freezing mark. Wind gusts right now, they're starting to become minimal, but still noticeable out towards western Maryland, 15 to 25 miles per hour, mostly clear conditions. And throughout the overnight, that's what we'll continue to see. But we have wind chill concerns overnight into tomorrow morning, and that's why the frost, it is going to be super noticeable. Tomorrow, it's kind of two tails here, a cold start, but a pretty mild finish. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Janessa, thank you. The district remains in financial limbo as city leaders prepare for this billion-dollar budget hole. The mayor is starting a hiring freeze and says a stop in spending is next. The city's saying that they also anticipate furloughs and they could be forced to close some facilities. The mayor also saying that this applies to all agencies, including firefighters and police, which is a decision first responders find concerning.
Residents can absolutely expect to see significantly less officers on their street and fewer officers responding to serious events. And that's a concern.
Now, agencies can ask for exemptions, but they're going to be considered on a case-by-case basis. Our Marielle Carbone will have much more on this story ahead in our next half hour.
Well, developing now at 9 o'clock, more than a dozen cars broken into in Maryland. And police in Charles County say the suspects also tried to steal several cars.
The broken glass littering the streets there in La Plata also, though, shattering the sense of safety for so many families. DC News Now's Tim Reed has more from neighbors, hoping police will be able to make some quick arrests.
This is one of the neighborhoods where police say thieves have been breaking into cars. They are allegedly smashing windows and stealing valuables and are also attempting to steal vehicles. Neighbors tell us this is alarming and they're hoping those responsible will be held accountable.
So that's lock your doors. Also, take stuff out that doesn't need to be in there.
Adrienne Broadneck says she is worried about the rash and car break-ins in the La Plata community in recent weeks. She lives in the Edeland Station condominiums where police say thieves are targeting cars.
It's really concerning to me. I'm concerned about what that means with whoever's doing the break-in. Why are they doing it? That's new for this neighborhood. I've lived here since 2015.
La Plata police are now doing extra patrols, searching for suspects. Another neighborhood was also targeted at the Charleston Terrace community. Investigators say the most recent theft happened early Monday morning. At least one vehicle was stolen and 4 cars were broken into.
It looks like a group of 3 to 4 individuals were walking throughout the town of La Plata. Any opportunity they saw to get into an unlocked vehicle, they did.
Chief Norris says one person has been arrested, but his officers are still looking for these 3 persons of interest. He's asking residents to check their security systems for any pictured people of interest.
We're not going to tolerate it. We have our officers put in extra patrol checks, and we're going to find the people that do these crimes.
Investigators are asking residents if you have any information about these crimes to call police. In La Plata, Maryland, Tim Reed, DC News Now.
Dashcam video from Northern Virginia. I'm sorry, we are getting other details on the commanders and the possible deal with the district. The Commanders in D.C. getting close to a deal to return the football team back to the nation's capital. The mayor's office saying that they plan to share details on a budget plan in the coming days. Right now, no deal has been finalized just yet, and there have been no agreements in place. The message sent to the Commanders trying to get any comment has not been immediately returned. Also new tonight, dramatic dash cam video from Northern Virginia capturing a man diving into traffic as he tried to escape police. Take a look at these images and you can see the man running from the right-hand side as he slides head first with all those cars slamming on the brakes and the two officers chasing after him. Police say that Devin Warren is accused of shoplifting on Monday, and when they tried to arrest him there on Arlington Boulevard in Falls Church, he ran off. Police finally caught up with the 27-year-old, and he's been released on bond.
All new tonight, we're learning more about a safety meeting between Metro leaders and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. According to Metro, they talked about how WMATA is trying to cut down on people skipping out on paying, and an incident at Navy Yard Station last night. Police say a man who didn't pay his fare stabbed a transit officer in the face. WMATA also highlighting Metro's 7-year low in serious crimes. We are helping you stretch your dollar tonight and save some money on this week's groceries. The price of eggs, produce, and chicken really stretching all our wallets pretty thin.
But we've been tracking some places where you can find some savings. DC News Now's consumer reporter Haley Milon breaks down the shopping list.
Yes, the latest data show that inflation is cooling a bit, but data doesn't reflect the tariffs that are now in place, so prices could get steeper. Now, experts say we'll see tariff impacts on food prices before any other items. DC News Now tracks the prices of 10 grocery staples at Walmart, Giant, and Safeway. Nationwide, average egg prices hit record highs in recent weeks. But in our stores, compared to 2 weeks ago, egg prices are unchanged. Walmart has the cheapest offering of a dozen brown eggs at $5.44. Avocados are down 8 cents at Walmart this week and up 22 cents at Giant. Boneless chicken breast value packs jumped up $3 at Safeway this week. Ground beef got pricier, going up 10% at Giant and 57% at Safeway. And looking down the road, a Lending Tree report finds that organic produce is 53% more expensive than non-organic produce. But because non-organic produce is more commonly imported, tariff exposure could drive up those prices much faster. The USDA says that the U.S. grows more than 95% of its organic fruits and vegetables. Taking a look at where our prices were a year ago, Safeway shoppers, you're likely paying a lot more for food than you were last April. Avocados doubled in price. Chicken, broccoli, pork, and ground beef all went up. Giant's chicken, pork, and brown rice prices are down from last year. And Walmart shoppers, your prices stayed pretty stable. And food supply chain experts say that tariffs could hit your food prices within the next month or so. I'm Haley Milon. Back to you guys.
Coming up on DC News Now, a scene resembling a demolition derby in Maryland. A man accused of stealing a truck, refusing to stop for police, and ramming into several police cruisers.
And bringing attention to hidden disabilities, why a butterfly on a Maryland's driver's license could soon help save lives.
Then at 9:30, immigration officials are coming after international college students studying in the DMV. School leaders saying they've been blindsided by their students' visas being pulled.